The relationship between the American and Chinese people goes all the way back to America's founding. From the beginning, our citizens have shared a deep sense of mutual respect. This bond of commerce and respect that stretches back 250 years is the foundation for a future that benefits both of our nations. The American and Chinese people share much in common. We value hard work, we value courage and achievement, we love our families, and we love our countries. The relationship between the American and Chinese people goes all the way back to America's founding. From the beginning, our citizens have shared a deep sense of mutual respect. This bond of commerce and respect that stretches back 250 years is the foundation for a future that benefits both of our nations. The American and Chinese people share much in common. We value hard work, we value courage and achievement, we love our families, and we love our countries.
I think probably the biggest outcome of this meeting is going to be a lot of Fox News grandmas realizing just how behind we are technologically, how much more advanced China is at this point, because Brett Baer is there on the ground doing all this like on the ground reporting. One of the big things, they made a big deal about the fact they illegally parked for 2 minutes and got a ticket right away, which, for the law and order people, they should be happy about that, right?
That is my dream. That's my dream.
I knew you would like that.
Yeah.
If Palantir was doing it here, they'd be celebrating this marvel of efficiency, but since it's China, it's the authoritarianism.
That is my dream, is to ticket these illegal parkers, red light runners.
I just saw Brett Baer from Fox News making up stories and lying and spitting falsehoods about China again. He claimed his team member was parked for 2 minutes illegally and fined $40 notified on his phone straight away. So I know he was lying because in Beijing, the maximum penalty for parking illegally is 200 RMB, which is around $29. And also there's a 10-minute grace period. So you get a message on your phone and it says, move your car or you'll be fined unless you're parked on a freaking highway. I think that's really humane because it gives people a chance, if they are just quickly ducking into somewhere or picking somebody up, to quickly get what they were getting, come back to the car and move their car. But he claimed it was 2 minutes. That's rubbish. Then he said there's so many cameras, nobody jaywalks here because they'll be fined immediately through their phone. false. If you've ever been fined for jaywalking in China, please comment below and say, this was the time and the date and the photo. Give me evidence that someone's actually been fined for jaywalking. Then he said there's social scoring here. That's totally false again, Brett. Are you trying to mislead people? It kind of seems like you are, because in China, there is a credit history, like in the Western world, and there's a criminal history, just like in the Western world and the rest of the world. And then he stood in the middle of traffic, filming, walking through that traffic, causing a safety issue for everybody around him. Astutely put by Andy Borham in Beijing. He's a Kiwi reporter here. He said it's clear he's trying to provoke the law to get a gotcha moment. Andy, I 100% agree. It really seems like he's trying to get a moment with a police officer, telling him he's in trouble so he can say to the Western world, see, look how dystopian it is here. Look how restrictive and oppressive it is, when it's not, guys. It's not like that at all. Then he claimed the cameras are some big brother watching you, some horrible, evil, restrictive reason why there's cameras here. Actually, it's for public safety, guys. It's so that you get fairness and justice if there's a crime or a crash or something of a dispute here on the roads. Dude, if you travel all the way from US to come to China to make videos, at least get your facts straight and do your freaking homework so you're not misleading the whole planet. So I'm an Aussie living in China, telling you the truth from the ground here.
But in any case, he also went to one of these, like, just little, you said this is sort of like a 7-Eleven competitors, and they have the humanoid autonomous robots there that are like serving the goods. And so this was all, you know, broadcast to Fox News audience. This is A10. Let's go ahead and take a look at this from Brett Baer.
Our food order to a very special worker. This is the Family Mart convenience store in Beijing. Inside is a Galbot robot. The dominance of AI. Beijing is trying to lead the way in AI and also in humanoid robots. Let's go inside. This is the first of its kind for this kind of interaction. If you want to order something, hello, can I get a sausage, please?
Okay. Khao Chang, 8.8 yuan.
This is the first of its kind, moving a little slow, but Galbot is actually in 50 different pharmacies, warehouses, handling 300,000 orders around the country. This is the first of its kind here, and they say there are going to be many different iterations. The question is, it's the same thing that the U.S. is dealing with. Will this replace human workers?
So,
pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, this is an area where they're decidedly ahead of us on the humanoid robot front. And, you know, my understanding in terms of the attitude towards the population in China versus here on technology, they're much more enthusiastic in China. There's not the same level of reticence, because here we see the way that, you know, these AI oligarchs are trying to screw us and bragging about how they're going to take all our jobs,
They just have a different social contract. So
yeah,
that's the thing.
That's exactly right. And they have really focused on a very different AI strategy too, where yes, they're trying to be at the leading edge, and DeepSeek has been very successful in other models as well, and much more efficiently. It doesn't require the vast amounts of compute and electricity and water and everything that ours is, like just this sort of brute force approach. But they've also focused a lot on how do we integrate the technology that we have right now into, you know, practical uses, so that this is actually being deployed and is not just some pie in the sky investment for the future, for some future prospect. So in any case, like I said, this is basically what Pate predicted with us yesterday. He's like, you know what's going to come out of this is all of these reporters and politicians are going to go. They're going to see the gleaming electric vehicles. They're going to see modern cities. They're going to see advanced technology, and they're going to be floored by it. And the, you know, American public, which has been so propagandized about China or any of our adversaries, will also see some of this on their television sets of like, oh, it's not the US that's leading the world on every technological front at this point. You go into these cities and you are seeing things that we do not have here. That is a very different dynamic than what most Americans have in their mind about China.
It's very true. And okay, so Family Mart. I mean, if you've never been, so it's a Japanese company, Family Mart. It's kind of like 7-Eleven if you've ever been there. I mean, I just want people to take a look. It's clean. It's nice. There's no, like, you know, there's no coffee stains that are anywhere. When you order, you get what you want. They don't need a security guard. The idea that anybody would steal is preposterous, right? You know, it's like ludicrous that somebody would try to steal from something like that. And if they do, they're going to get caught instantly. Now, there's a very different social contract. Like I was saying earlier, everybody there acquiesces to an immense amount of digital surveillance. So you were talking about the immediate ticketing that's happening. That's just like the tip of the iceberg. You know, the ability to cross the street, your face is all being scanned. People make a big deal about social credit, but it actually goes much deeper than that. Like the ability to transit even inside of the country, your ability to move between cities, like that's all pretty restricted, or at the very least, like you need permission from somebody. Most Americans would have no ability to acquiesce to that. They have a different culture than ours. A lot of the current people who are alive, their generation, they came from the chaos of the Cultural Revolution, and then imagine what their grandparents and others people had to live through: genuine poverty, civil war, Japanese World War II, like immense death and famine. So for them, like order is the thing that must be preserved above all costs, because they have lived. I mean, do you know anybody who died in a famine? No. Over there, you probably do know at least somebody who has a relative who did, or who was displaced through mass collectivization, or who was bayoneted by a Japanese soldier, or by a CCP soldier, or by a KMT soldier, something like that. Their country has been was in chaos from the year, I don't know, 19, even earlier, maybe the 18 something, all the way up until 1970 or so. So I just feel like that sociological imprint of a generation for where they are today and why they value what they value, I'm not judging it. I can fully empathize and understand how they've come to the place that they are.